The screen went black. The audience leaned forward. It had been a good story, but that ending was pure genius. "Wow, you really got me there," said one of the guys in the front row. "Me too," said another. As the applause died down, I felt a tap on my shoulder. "That was amazing," whispered the woman. She introduced herself as Sarah and told me that she'd come to all 3 of my shows in this small town. "Your stories are my favorite thing," she said, her eyes shining. "I love being scared." I laughed and thanked her for the compliment, but something about her face seemed familiar. I racked my brain trying to place it. When the night was over and the theater was empty, I walked back to my car, replaying the story in my head. There was something about Sarah that I just couldn't shake. Finally, I decided to go home. I was just tired. But when I woke up, the image of Sarah's face was burned into my mind. I got out my phone and typed her name into Facebook. I knew that if anyone had attended my show, they would have posted about it online. Sure enough, there she was. I clicked on her profile and my heart skipped a beat. I recognized that car. It was the same model and color as mine. I stared at the photos, my skin crawling. These weren't just pictures of Sarah. One of them was of her and her mom. Another was of her in her backyard, smiling at the camera. But some of them showed a dark side of Sarah that scared me. There was a picture of a straitjacket pinned to a wall. Another photo showed a bloodied meat cleaver resting on a table. Some of the images were disturbing, but most of them were of Sarah and her mother laughing and having fun. They looked so happy. It made me feel guilty for intruding on their privacy. I quickly shut my laptop. A few hours later, I was getting ready to leave town. As I packed my things, I kept thinking about Sarah. Had I known her all along without realizing it? Or was she a stalker who had somehow gotten into my story? Maybe she wasn't dangerous. Maybe I was overreacting. Then I remembered the story I'd told that night. It was based on a news report from a nearby town. The escaped mental patient had attacked someone in their car. It hadn't said what had happened next. My fingers trembled as I pulled up the article on my phone. The victim's name was Sarah. Below the text, there was a mugshot of a grinning young woman. Her hair was the same color as Sarah's, and the curve of her smile was identical. I stumbled backward, knocking over my suitcase. I had to get out of there, now. As I sped away, I risked a glance over my shoulder. On the side of the road, a lone figure waved at me. She was standing beside a car that looked an awful lot like mine. But when I stopped to take a better look, she was gone. I hurried home, locking myself inside. That night, every creak of the house sounded like footsteps outside. Every rustle of leaves sent shivers down my spine. Was she watching me? I didn't dare look out the window. I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Just before dawn, I heard a knock at the door. My blood ran cold. I crept closer and pressed my ear against the wood. There was a soft thud, then a low voice. "Go away." I breathed a sigh of relief. It was my neighbor. I knew that voice. "You all right in there?" he called. "Yeah," I yelled back, scrambling away from the door. "Just having some fun." He didn't reply. And after a moment, I heard his footsteps fading down the street. Safe at last, I threw open the window and stepped outside. The morning sun warmed my face. It was going to be a beautiful day. Suddenly, I felt 2 taps on my shoulder. I whirled around. It was the neighbor. He was grinning. "Want some company at that reading tonight?" he asked. Sorry," I said. "I have plans." He tilted his head. "Plans with Sarah, maybe?" I froze. How did he know? The neighbor's grin widened. "She's in the basement, isn't she?" He said softly. "We all have our secrets." Before I could respond, he was gone. My heart hammered in my chest. How long had he known? Did he find Sarah's body? What did he want with her?